Please do next time.
Hey, next concert you do, can you just lip sing?
That was bad.
It wasn't good.
That reminds me of that video of that guy where he's like, you know, when you're going to fight someone and someone's holding you back, and he's like, don't hold me back, and then his buddy lets go. He's like, wait, hold me back a little bit,
a little bit.
Oh man. Well, lap 6 coming at you, people. I know. The racing season is started.
Oh yeah, well underway.
I was overwhelmed by racing on Sunday. There was Formula 1, there was Indy Car, there was NASCAR, there was all this going on, man.
triple header.
I couldn't watch it all.
What did you watch?
He was too busy watching a 5-hour Indy Car race.
Do you guys wake up and watch the Formula 1 race live?
I do.
Amen,
Hell
brother.
yeah, brother.
It's the only way to do it.
Is there any other
wake
way?
up early. It's like 11 a.m. for you guys.
It was pretty late. I like the night race.
If even.
Like,
It's
even
9
the
years.
ridiculous
Yeah, it
ones that
started
are like,
at 8:55 our time.
Oh,
I'll
the
wake
9
up at
a.m.
4
ones for you
o'clock in the
guys? I
morning.
got them at like 6. I don't want to talk about it.
oh, it's worth it.
Oh, yeah. It's
Formula
great.
1.
Come
I
out on a
even-
Saturday night, get home at like 2 a.m. and you're just like, oh yeah, man, 4 hours from now we're getting on that F1 train, baby. And then you wake up at like 10 and watch it recorded, and you're like, yeah, that was a bad night.
Yeah.
I was going to say, Antonio, I can see you doing that. Alarm goes off. Nope. Go back to sleep.
Yeah, no, I'm going back to bed, bro. Don't wake me up.
I get so pumped that I used to make breakfast from every country that they were in.
Are you serious?
Wow.
Yeah.
Okay.
The Middle Eastern ones were really hard. And Japan was weird. But, like, dude, Hungary, I'll tell you, they can get down on some breakfast now.
Well, I mean, they're hungry. What do you expect?
Oh, man.
Bad joke.
Hungarian GP breakfast is the...
So even for like the races that are in our time zone and they're late, do you still do the breakfast in the morning?
Yes. Yes, I tried
I
to.
just
at
Googled
least.
Hungarian breakfast. This looks crazy.
Do you
Oh, man.
eat for Australia? Do you eat breakfast for dinner?
Do you eat a kangaroo?
Do you wake up early at like 1 a.m. to make breakfast?
No, but I did Amazon Prime Vegemite for the Australian GP. And
Breakfast for
Vegemite,
dinner
mate.
is where it's at, man.
oh, dude, Brenner, gotta have it.
I could eat it for all 3 meals of the day.
It's the
What if
best
I want a
meal.
waffle right now.
Yeah, podcast
Oh, great.
over eating
Now we're talking
waffles.
about food.
Dude, waffles or pancakes?
Waffles.
Waffles, 100%.
But do the
Without a
waffles
doubt.
are they the Belgian waffles with the little sugar things? Because if that, then waffles. But if not, pancakes.
I do like the Belgians better, but I'm always going waffles because the waffle holds the syrup and the butter.
I do agree with that. But at the same
Yeah.
time, it don't soak it up when you got the extra around. You know what I'm saying? A pancake's got that absorbency. Or I don't know.
Yeah,
if that's the right word.
but sometimes if they're too
Science.
thick, it absorbs it, and then it's just like that's
Dry.
it. It's just dry.
Yeah,
You got to keep
crumbly as
just
shit,
dumping
yes.
the syrup on that thing, man. And you're just
This
like,
Next thing you know, you go to a
Canadian, he
sugar
knows.
coma.
yeah. Next thing you got 1,200 calories in freaking 2 pancakes.
This guy knows
Do
his
y'all use
pancakes.
regular syrup or do y'all use actual maple syrup?
Well,
Like the
Antonio,
real
you
syrup?
want to go
I
ahead
think
and answer that?
we all know the answer to my
Yo,
question.
come on now.
Obviously,
use-
I use the knockoff, no-name brand, store-bought,
Do you-
non-maple syrup. Like, come on,
Do you have things on the side or do you just eat them alone?
basic. I just eat them alone. I don't know. I don't put like bananas or some crazy peanut butter on them like some people do.
See, I use bacon. I didn't know if you use Canadian bacon.
You mean ham?
Oh God, here we go. I just
will
live
do-
here.
Just
I just live here, man. I just
I
live
will-
here, bro.
I will do blueberries in my pancakes.
Aren't-
Oh, that's good. Yo,
How
dude, I could even
exotic
get
of
down
you.
for some Eggos over some pancakes. I'm not gonna lie, bro. That's just slaps.
Oh, okay.
Oh,
Ooh,
damn.
easy.
Dang, that's bringing it back a little bit. Well, speaking
I
of
know you
waffles
like, though.
and Belgian waffles, that was a good segue, right? League Zero at Spa. Pretty good race. It was fun. Just wanted to shout out any of our listeners that were in the race. We're getting cleaner, but we're not there yet.
I was not there, unfortunately.
Wait, which
No.
race we talking about?
Belgium, bro. We were talking waffles and now we're talking about the Spa
Oh,
Zero
League
Spa
Zero.
race.
Oh, League
League
Okay,
Zero
okay.
iRacing Thursday night.
You know that
Spa
league
race.
that you own?
Yeah, the
Yeah,
one that
that one.
Antonio owns.
Yeah, I forgot about that.
It's all right.
He lets it slip his mind, you know.
Sometimes I forget. Sometimes I try to forget. Anyways.
It was fun. Where are we at next week?
Well, there is no next
You're
week.
off.
We're off, and then we
Ooh,
go to
off
Long Beach.
So you're telling me I'm in the VW Beetle doing figure eight next week?
Probably something like that.
I'm pushing
Tight.
for a big oval, but he won't do it. I want to see these road course guys on a big oval.
Oh yeah, let's do Dega. I'm telling you, it's gonna be fun.
But that doesn't require, like, at least in sim, it doesn't really require that much skill. Let's be honest with you.
In
Dude,
the
I'm
we're
excited
just-
if I
87.
haven't
We're
done
gonna
it,
all
though.
be at the front, and we're gonna take each other out, and then you're gonna get like some dude win the race that's not even relevant.
You're saying
and
it
it's
doesn't
not gonna
take
be
skill?
worth it.
In other words, he's stealing my win right now. He's taking this
Oh,
win
yeah.
away from me.
Yeah, you don't
Dang
need. Yeah, what, like all three of them you got?
Swerve.
Levi's. Anyway, it was fun. Spa's always fun, but
Man, Spa was great. That was like finally the first race where I felt like I was back in like normal form. I think I finished like, I don't know, like 6th and 5th or something. It was great.
How's the
Oh no,
car
I finished
count?
like 5th and 4th, I think, didn't I?
it's pretty good this year. How many people we have? That one was a lot smaller than I thought. It was like 20, right? Or 21?
I don't think it was that low. I thought it
Or
was still
19?
like 25.
Oh, okay. Yeah.
let me go look.
I think so.
Car's
Still.
looking good, though.
Oh
Car's
no,
looking
it's a
good.
little bit lower. A little bit lower. It's 21.
Yeah.
Problem is, it's
Uh,
hard because it doesn't count you if you wrecked like the first lap. I think in the standings.
But it's doing good. No, turnouts are good. The racing is stellar.
Oh yeah, without a doubt. I have no complaints racing with 20 guys. To be honest with you, as long as we don't like start getting lower than that.
No, these
Considering
guys
I
are
haven't
good.
advertised since season 2, we're chilling.
It's
These guys are
crazy.
good.
It's crazy. Crazy.
All right, well, back into real racing.
Yeah, back
here.
into
We
real
got
racing.
F1, Indy Car, and NASCAR to go over. So let's talk about some F1 first. Overall, pretty decent race. Like, no complaints. I know some people will say it was boring and not action filled, but let's be honest, it actually wasn't too bad. Like, it's better than some of their other races.
Right.
No, I enjoyed it. I enjoyed it a lot. I mean, yeah, I enjoyed his first race back, but I mean, it was pretty slick. Pretty slick race. Fun to watch. A lot of like
Third on back was entertaining.
Yeah, true story. Well, second, I mean, so Perez didn't get a good start, and I was worried about him, but he made it up. I mean, you know, they got back up there. Red Bull's dominant.
That was
right now.
yeah. Red Bull is silly.
Yeah.
Red Bull's silly strong.
Yeah, I mean, like, highlight, like, Fernando friggin' Alonso on the podium.
Dude, that's
Like, what?
so. And the bad part is, can we just go ahead and say that the other Aston Martin should have been right behind him? If anybody, like, if a better quality drivers in that car, I think it's, 3-4 right there.
Well, could you even say if a non-injured driver is in that car?
Yeah,
No, I
that
don't
was
think it really-
ridiculous.
I don't think it really matters with Stroll.
Man, I need to talk about this. Okay.
Okay.
I think Lance Stroll gets more hate than he deserves. Is he a bit of a dummy in the media? Yes. But let's be honest. There's probably a few, like 5 or 6 people here in the Formula One grid who have garbage, like, media skills and make themselves sound dumb. But let's be honest, like, they all deserve to be there. Lance Stroll's a pretty good driver. I don't think he deserves all the hate he gets. Yeah, he's not Fernando Alonso, but he's pretty good, man. I think he did decent. I mean, he pulled a 6th, though, with the, what has he got, 2 broken wrists or something?
Yeah, I don't know. Personally, I feel like you put a K-Mag or a Hulk, and I'm just using those because they were like the worst ones on the grid this week. Just, I don't know what happened. They qualified decent, but just didn't work out in the race. But both the Haas drivers, you put one of those guys in that car, and I think he's sitting right behind Alonso, pulling away. And that's just me personally.
Mm.
I guess we'll see. I'm curious to see if these guys are going to fall off as the season progresses like they did when they copied the Mercedes while they were Racing Point. Like, I wonder if they have the financial ability now with Lawrence Stroll and Aston Martin backing them to keep up with this massive change in design. Because they did it again. They went from the back of the grid, literally like one of the last place teams, to now they're, on paper, 3rd best.
Well, get ready because I don't know if y'all caught it, but Checo in the post-race, one of the interviews, he said it was really good to see 3 Red Bulls on the podium.
Ooh, I did not see that.
I wonder if that's like bitterness or if that's like
Oh no, that was throwing shade because they look at the cars. There's a lot of similarities between the Red Bull and the new Aston Martin.
Did
They
they
just
not
did.
sell them data though? Like, was it
No,
not
it's
similar to what the other thing?
no, it's the same as like the pink Mercedes kind of thing. I mean, they just said they did it all by pictures. There was no transition of hands or anything.
Yeah,
Or
but Pink Mercedes. I think they actually purchased data to do that though. Like
they didn't on this one. Yeah,
I thought Mercedes shared with them some data from the last year's car, like some proper like blueprints and stuff to formulate that. Don't quote me on that, but I swear that's what I heard. I thought that's what happened again, to be honest with you, but I didn't follow it enough.
As a Felipe Dragovich fan, I was pretty upset at first, and still am a little upset that, like, because if there would have been an unexpected collision that ripped the steering wheel out of his hands, there could be permanent damage. Like, I think there was a lot of implications, and I sat and wondered over my coffee in the morning while I was watching the race why they would make that decision. And I think they may be showing their hand. They might actually think that they are in contention for, up to P3 or better in the championship. I don't see why else they would put a primary driver in over Felipe and risk Stroll's long-term health unless that they knew that it could come down to a one race ordeal for major stuff. And I liked Fernando's interview when he said they asked him about wind tunnel time, and he was like, I don't know, but we're gonna have less next year.
yeah.
I think they know they're strong, man.
Well, and I was just blown away by the way that Stroll in qualifying they showed his onboard camera or whatever, where you could see his wrist, and they were telling him to cut turn one, compromise turn one to get to turn two, and they were wanting him to cut in sharper, I guess, so that he could fade out to two. And he said he came back and told him I can't.
Yeah,
I just can't with my hands.
And I mean, of course,
I want to know what drugs they gave him overnight.
Yeah,
that he couldn't make it through qualifying, but he made it all the way through the race, and he did really well.
Every driver's required to do a emergency exit test on the car. And so I can't give any credit to the hate, because there was this picture circulated online of his engineers picking him up out of his car.
Mm-hmm.
And I think that's just because he didn't want to risk straining anything or whatever. But like I said, the only reason that I could see the logic behind putting Lance Stroll behind that car, other than him doing what everyone might be thinking, which is crying to his dad. I said it out loud. But if that didn't happen, it's because Aston Martin knew that it would come down to a one race situation potentially between him and a guy like Carlos Sainz, maybe, I think, or George Russell.
I think they just did what every team would have done, fight to get your main drivers in the car. You don't ever want to be dropping out of the standings ever, unless you're Lewis Hamilton and you're clear of the championship by so much so you can miss one due to COVID or something. Like, you know what I mean? I feel like it's justified, but I agree with you. Like, from a safety standpoint, like, if something crazy did happen, like, I mean, you never know. It's racing. You could have another Grosjean incident, and he might not be able to get out. So you never know.
You gotta look at it this way. Like, he doesn't run that race, he misses out on championship points. He's probably looking at it like, I'm fighting for probably my best championship finish ever in my life.
Truth.
Yeah, I mean, you got 8 points too. Like, that's a substantial amount. That's nothing to be like.
They made waves.
That's nothing about.
Yeah, no, they made waves. Yeah, both of them. I mean, they're. I don't want to jump the gun as one race, but I'm saying Alonso was strong in the Alpine. He came over here and he's stronger. I really, honestly think that it's probably. I think they're in contention for the top spot. I really do. If they can make a few more changes. Got to catch them Red Bulls though.
I don't think you can.
Man, was it 37 seconds or something? That
was nuts.
That's crazy. Oh, quick fact. And this is a crazy fact. I saw it right when it started. I don't know if y'all saw it. But you know how they're trying to go zero emissions or whatever. So I guess at Bahrain, which is, I'm pretty sure. Are they an oil place there?
Yeah.
7,100 plus solar panels light up the Bahrain circuit.
Huh.
I was like, well, they're out there, but they're probably burning generators back there to actually run the whole thing.
That's called sport washing, ladies and gentlemen.
There you go. They're
If
out
you're
there.
familiar with Formula One or FIFA soccer or any of those global sports, do a Google search for sport washing and get yourself a tinfoil hat because it's
about to get real.
It's about to get
Real
real.
weird.
Yeah.
Also, another fact is that since Bahrain has opened the season, the winner of the Bahrain race has not won the championship.
Ooh, I didn't know it was his first time.
I think
Winning
we're all
there.
open to change here.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I'm
Hey,
afraid
can we
that
not
you're
just
seeing-
hope here, Antonio?
I think it's what you did is you went from the Mercedes wash to the Red Bull wash, and then hopefully in like 2026 we get I don't know who it'll be. Can we? Are we just going to clear over that McLaren just pooped the bed?
Oh
Yeah,
man,
your
it
team
was
sucks,
bad.
bro. I'm not gonna lie.
my team. Not
I can't
my team
sugarcoat it.
anymore.
That was
Come on,
bad.
that's my team
Anymore. Man hops off the bandwagon when they're
I
last.
jumped off there like cannonball.
You
Have you
joy-
seen that car, dude? The crap I went through with Ricardo. I'm out.
Oh, it's bad.
They can have it.
Man, he jumped off the bus like a fat kid on a Smartie, bro. He saw the Smartie and he was like, "God damn, get me over there."
Gotta get there.
What
Dude.
about the debacle with Haas? I don't call it a debacle. I thought they qualified great, but showed nothing in the race.
I think
It
that's
looks like a
expected.
bunch of wankers.
Well, I can't believe that he qualified sixth and then just bad start. Okay, right? I mean, Alonso got a bad start. Checo got a bad start. I mean, Stroll ran into Alonso at one point, but came back all of that, no problems. But Haas got a bad start and then just fell backwards. Let me ask you all that. How can you qualify in these cars in the open qualifying format and then race that horrible? What was the deal?
It's just one lap pace. It's hard to have the race pace. Like, look at the Ferraris. Like, they're amazing over one lap. Like, I mean, obviously take out the engine failure. We all know that happened. But like realistically, from a normal race where we actually finish, you see like the one lap pace of the Ferrari is insane. Like, we do great. Like, we've taken pole. Like, look, last year we took 12 poles, and then you go to the race and it just tires gone. We burn the tires off like no tomorrow. Like, I bet you we could have been on mediums and hards while Verstappen was on softs and mediums, and he would have blown us out of the water any day of the week. It's crazy.
Which helps back the Haas issue because Haas is Ferrari.
Yeah. Essentially.
Yeah, so exactly. It's just it's quite different. You'd be surprised.
And I'm wondering if they didn't just unload during qualifying. You know how you can turn things up and max it out, and you know what I mean, trying to make a presence because Haas is always about that. They're trying to flex, so to speak. So I don't know. I thought maybe they unloaded on Hulk's car, just open up the battery, give him everything. Max push.
Max Push. I was impressed with Gasly's performance overall. Not impressed with how his car looked. If I have a negative comment, the Alpine, I mean, okay. Before we started, Norman and I was digging dirt on best water technologies. There's not much dirt to dig. They're just a very large, essentially a water filtration company. And like the water that gets used to make vaccines, that's like their thing, or like industrial clean water and filters. And anyway, but the pink, dude, is,
and it's a different shade of pink this year, is it not? It's even worse than usual.
It is the ugliest pink, and I don't know, man. You'd have to give me a lot of money to paint my car that color.
Last year they did this, and I think this year's the same. They're only going to do it for a limited time, so we just got to put up with it and puke every time they show them for.
I'm just so over the pink. Like, I bet Otmar just loves it. I bet that's the deal. Like Otmar, Staffenauer, Snaffenauer, Sniff a Flower, or whatever how you'd say his name. I bet he loves it because it follows him around.
Yeah, it does, right? Never noticed that.
It's his favorite color. It has to be.
So this is the BWT. Is that what you're talking about there?
Yeah,
The
best
sponsor?
water technologies.
Always wondered what that was.
They're a
Water
motorsport
technology.
sponsor. I did see that they make fuel cells for hydrogen cars, like hydrogen electrolysis stuff.
Because there's a crap load of those around.
Yeah, I know. But they're mainly a motorsport sponsor, is what it seems like. Even on their website, like a mass majority of their website is the fact that they sponsor race cars.
Just
And
so they're
then a
better.
lot of business jargon about, being a biopharmaceutical conglomerate and big words.
Just so they're better than Rich Energy.
Yeah, they sound well.
They're actually real.
They're real. Yeah, they
That's
they
a
are
good
real.
start.
That's a good start.
It's not just some bearded dude with a t-shirt.
That guy
Yeah.
was so suspect. Oh my god.
Yeah,
That's
he
so
does.
funny,
Did you know he
man.
tried to come back last year?
Yeah.
He actually
That's
put in
crazy.
for sponsorship, and I was like, who in the right mind would do that? And then I got thinking, Haas is going back to Rich Energy. All right.
Oh man.
They don't care. Money coming in, we're going to take it.
I actually know someone who was able to buy Rich Energy, like buy the drink, and he's
What was it?
saving them.
Is he still alive?
He's not drinking them. He's saving
I
them
was
as
gonna
collector's
say.
item.
It's probably just pool water.
I heard they taste a lot like Red Bull, which is what Haas should be doing with their car as well.
Nice.
Bang.
Look at the
Slapped
guy.
him.
Look at the guy from Rich Energy though. Like, look at him.
That dude
Almost
looks like the city
right out of
cousin of the
NASCAR.
Robertsons.
Man, I don't think I'd let that dude give me $1,000. That dude walks
Yeah.
up to you and he's like in a bar and he's like, "Hey man, I got this great idea. I own this big company and listen, let me just give you $1,000 and you tattoo this logo on your ass right now. Like, or I'll give you $10,000. I don't know if 100,000. I don't know if I'd take it, dude. This guy's sketchy. I might take it from anyone else. I'd take it from you, Antonio.
Oh my god! Didn't Ricardo make this guy make the French dude, the Alpine or
Yeah.
Renault team principal, have to tattoo something on him?
Cyril Abiteboul.
Cyril.
Yeah,
Didn't
what
he,
was it?
You got
No,
a honey
he
badger
made
Did
Zach
he
tattoo.
end up
Brown.
getting one?
Yeah, he made Zach Brown tattoo Monza. He's got the track map of Monza tattooed on him now because he won Monza.
Oh, no way! I didn't know that.
Yeah, no, he made him a bet. He said, if I win, what was it? I
You
forgot
have
how
to
the
get a
deal went.
tattoo.
He said, if you win, you got to get the tattoo. And he said, and Ricardo was like, all right, well, you get it with me. And he said, yeah. And then he said, if I win, then I get to drive one of your Dale Earnhardt Senior cars. And Zach was like, okay, yeah, sure. So he actually got to drive the Wrangler car, one of his
Yeah.
old Monties, and they both got the Monza tattooed on.
Yeah, that was at Coda, right? They
Oh,
drove the
where
car?
he drove it. Yeah. Mm-hmm.
Yeah,
Bet they
that's
got
cool.
ice cream after.
I didn't know that.
I still think we gotta get Danny Rick in NASCAR, man. It'd be like a kid in a candy store.
Oh my.
He'd probably kill it too. Like
I
I bet
would
he'd be
love
good.
it.
Well, he would love it. I know. I don't know how good he would do, but man,
No, I bet he could do it, man. I bet you he could do it. If you can drive an F1 car, man, you got to be able to drive anything at that point. Like, let's be honest.
Let me tell you, there's nothing more Texan than an Australian.
yeah,
Gosh
right.
for that. They're British
Fair.
Texans, man.
Well, and I don't know, man, because Juan Pablo didn't do so well in the NASCAR circuit as a whole. He was okay.
True, but I feel like it's different times, though. I feel like this car is more adapted to someone who could come over from something like that. Like, it's a more agile car. It's not like 4 million pounds compared to
Sure.
what it was before. Like, it's literally meant for driving on a road course. Like, it's square now compared to before.
No, I'll give you that.
So I feel like if anything, it's like a perfect time to try. We need, you know what we need? We need another, not with Jimmy, but we need another Jimmy Johnson Alonso seat swap, but with someone else, with Danny Rick and like someone else. Who would be good in an F1 car? Kyle Larson, perfect,
There you go.
perfect. The Kyle Larson, Daniel Ricciardo seat swap. They totally are not similar in any way possible, but you know what? Let's do it anyways.
Juan
No.
Pablo Montoya wasn't good at NASCAR because he can't grow a legit mustache and sideburns.
Yeah,
True
there you go.
story.
That's what it is,
Yeah,
dude.
but Danny Rick's got it down.
Yeah, it's there.
It's getting there.
It's there. Let's leave it
Getting
there. It's there.
Oh man. Well, I was I was impressed with our boy Logan Sargent.
Man, qualifying though, bro.
That
His
was tough.
teammate should have got knocked out. Can we talk about that for just a second? Albon should have got knocked out. He went off track limits and they didn't say a word about it. I watched it, which then would have bumped him in to Q3.
Did it come down to 10,000ths of a second that Lando
He
got
was
in?
tied. He was tied, yeah. So it was 10,000ths of a second. They said after the 1,000th spot, I think it is, that it goes to whoever set the time the first. And that's the only reason Norris went through.
That's
I mean, he was-
heartbreaking
Hey,
for both
all
of
I got to
them.
say is it showed speed, bro. You know?
How would you feel to be Lando? Like, I did what?
Yeah.
Oh, you tied the Williams through American rookie. Like,
Huh?
oh, great.
I'm gonna go thump a wall again.
Yeah.
So most, just kind of wrap up the F1 deal. Most improved though, I have to say Williams looked really good compared to last year.
Yeah, big time.
And I'm not just saying that because of Logan. Like they, as a team, they looked solid. Like they're right in the middle of the middle pack. You know.
Yeah, I think they're gonna do well this year. And Formula One coming back March 19th. That's Saudi Arabia, Jeddah, which we
Jeddah.
love.
Jeddah. Antonio loves Jeddah.
Why you say
Right.
that?
A lot of talent to get around Jeddah.
A lot of
Yeah,
talent.
that's great.
A lot of missiles in Jeddah.
Yeah, was that where the bomb went off last year? So he may
Yes.
get napalm strike.
This year they're going to do it on the track, and you're going to have to
We're gonna-
dodge the freaking.
You're gonna put the
Raiders.
survive,
shells. Yeah.
put the survive and drive to survive. Oh man.
That was wild. Did Drive to Survive talk about that at all?
Oh hell no.
Oh come on now. You know we ain't talk about that.
Yeah, we need to talk about that.
Speaking of Drive to Survive, though, should we pop in some good old Indy Car Drive to Survive? After
Oh,
this
yeah.
race?
Yeah,
Great.
that was.
That was rough.
It was a good
But-
race, though. Like the
Oh.
race was entertaining for all 100 laps.
I think so too. I think pound for pound, the IndyCar race was extremely entertaining. It was the most entertaining race on Sunday by far.
Those are like iRacing wrecks.
Dude, they were huge.
Like people hopping over each other. Crap.
Oh, dude, don't you know that hurts your back? There's no
Yeah.
slamming down on that. Oh my God.
I gotta watch the highlights. I know like I saw the first wreck, but that's about it.
You watch the
Oh,
highlights, it really looks like the iRacing, what is it? Not
Not
top
top
10?
10.
Yeah.
Because, oh man, was it Grosjean and who that were racing out of the pits?
Scott
Scott
McLaughlin,
Yes.
freaking asshole.
He was,
Damn.
man. Well,
He's salty.
yeah, he is salty. This guy's salty.
It's a good
Hey,
segue.
You know, Hey, Norman, we should kick off a new segment called King of Salt, my friend. And you know what? We're going to give you all of the room in the world to be as salty as you please. And I think this is a great topic to start with. I think that we can talk a little bit about standings and everything overall. Marcus Ericsson won the race. It was cool. But let's hear your opinion, my friend. How did you feel about the IndyCar race?
Well, the IndyCar race as a whole was great, but Scott McLaughlin, I think, was way too aggressive coming out of pit twice against Romain. He what was that, turn 4 at the end of the little short shoot they come out onto, and he was on cold tires, so he couldn't out-brake Grosjean. And
Grosjean.
and he tried to. He tried to outbrake him twice. The first time they hit and they got away with it. The second time, Romain wasn't going to give him an inch, and he drove straight through him and put him in the tire barrier, taking him out of the race. IndyCar did give him a penalty, but what still is annoying is he took him from his first win, and it ticked me off. But But, I don't know how y'all looked at it, but I thought it was totally Scott McLaughlin's fault.
I know it was good hard racing.
Good, I don't know, but hard racing, yes.
It was hard racing.
I mean, I get where you got to make that move, but you can't. I mean, yeah. No, I'm with you, Norman. I don't agree with it.
It's the first race of the season. If it was the last race of the season, you're battling him for the championship, I understand. But dude, he had you around the outside. He had warm tires. You didn't come out of the pit. You didn't do your in lap like you should have.
But should Grosjean have stuck his nose in the outside on a street circuit like that?
That's what Scott gave him. Scott gave him the outside to choose.
And then slam the door.
And then just drove straight. He didn't go straight through the apex, as bad as I make it sound, but he pretty much drove into the apex and then turned the car.
I guess the other side of that is that you've got the warm tires, right? You just back off and wait for it.
On the topic of this, actually, you guys remember how I'm always saying there's like two types of racers? There's like the guy who races for the championship, and there's guys who race for the race win. I feel like, and again, I'm not blaming Grosjean, but I feel like if I'm in Grosjean's shoes, I said Grosjean, I'm freaking pulling up like you. But if I'm in his shoes, I feel like I would not have made that move because he's on cold tires and there's a tendency to wash out. You're going into a corner with like the apex being a bump that could shoot him into you. It's a really high risk move. And I feel like it's a big risk versus reward. You know what I mean? So I don't know. It's sketchy.
You finished, put yourself in his shoes though. You finished second 3 times in Indy Car. And if you don't pass him now, you're probably not going to get around him for the rest of the race. It's so hard to pass there once the tires warm up, unless he drives his tires off. So I think he had to go for it because he wanted that win and he had a car that showed dominance earlier in that race. He drove, he was 7 seconds ahead of the field before the first pit stop started.
Yeah. It's hard to say though. I feel like it's hard to tell somebody who's on the inside to concede the corner. You know what I mean? Like in my view personally, I think it's a racing incident. I think it's a really crappy one, but I think it is one. But anyways, my opinion doesn't matter. Everybody's entitled to their own. But I do think it's a sketchy move, and I think you got to know that something's gonna happen. You can't really expect Scott to concede. I think 9 out of 10 people in that situation would not have conceded. So it's hard to say. I don't know. I don't know what they were thinking, but
I think it was
definitely crazy.
Yeah, I think it was well worth somebody, being upset about it. I could see. I mean, I
could see both guys being upset at the other guy, 100%.
Yeah,
it's one of those racing incidents where it feels like it's the other guy's fault if you're in it, 100%. It depends on which fan you are of who,
Yeah, but it happened twice.
True.
The first time they had pit stops, it was a very exact same scenario, except they got away with it, and this time they didn't.
Yeah, it's fair.
So you got
to. Is that one of those chances though that you take? It's a low or high risk, low chance reward pass. Well, not low. Well, maybe not low reward though, because you get a 1, but a low chance, percentage of completing it. But
and then
it's no matter how you cut it though, it's crappy. I feel bad for Grosjean. He deserves a win,
and he hasn't been to victory lane since Formula 2.
Yeah, true,
dude. I do feel this year he's going to get it. I do feel like he shows. I think he's actually a championship contender this year too.
Yeah, that was my next question. Is it going to be the last time we see him up there? No.
I think you're going to see him struggle a little bit. I don't think he wins the championship because I think he's going to struggle a little bit more on the ovals. But I think he's going to be extreme. He's going to be a contender every road course.
Yeah. I mean, the other wrecks in the race were just mind-blowing to me. Who was it that came through and just plowed into somebody? I don't know the racers well enough, but I was watching it.
You're talking about the
All red car.
the first wreck? Or are you talking there? I think it happened twice.
Yeah, Kirkwood, I think, shot over the other guy. I don't know if that's who it was. I know he's the only guy with the pink number that I can think of. But
Yeah, this
he
one was
friggin'
red.
hurdled someone.
Yeah,
that was
no,
tough.
he went over. That was the one I think Dave was saying would just be killer on your back because the suspension does not make you do that.
No,
It would
here's
destroy me.
the crazy thing about that. Andretti lost all 4 cars to a wreck, except Kirkland went airborne and continued and finished the race. The only Andretti car to finish the race went airborne.
Yeah,
Crazy.
surprised it didn't break.
Talking about someone who can be salty, I think Andretti is extremely salty after the strong start they had to practice and qualifying.
I'm salty. We have to wait almost a month for the next race.
Yeah.
I don't know who designed that.
What? We go to Texas and then we go to Long Beach. So we go back. Our next road course is back at a street circuit.
Perfect.
Hey, this might be bad to circle back to, but just F1 quickly. You know what's crazy? They have a month gap too, but it's not in summer. Between Australia and Azerbaijan, there's a month gap. It's literally the first race is April 1st, the next one's April 30th. Like, it's literally a full
Wow.
month. Isn't that crazy?
That is crazy.
That's kind of weird. I don't remember there ever being that big of a gap. Like, I remember like maybe a 3-week gap, but not a month in Australia. Like, literally after the third round. That's
Yeah.
kind of crazy.
Yeah, 3 weeks is a stretch, but it has been done. But this one's when's Indy?
The next one?
The 500?
Yeah,
Which one? We both said a question.
Indy 500. When is it ran?
Memorial weekend.
Yeah,
I
Memorial
think it's May
weekend.
28th or something.
Yeah, there's a big break before that one, isn't there? Or is it just a couple weeks?
It's 2 weeks because they do it's all Indy
weeks.
for the whole month of May. And they do the Indy road course at like the beginning of May. And then you have all like the qualifying and stuff like the 2 weeks before the 500.
So it's just 2 weeks. I just remember it feels like it's a big deal, probably because I watch like every day. So
Yeah. It's an exciting month for Indy Car, the month of May.
it's a good one.
Man, I'm excited. My birthday is May 7th, and there's a lot of racing on May 7th. I haven't had my birthday fall on a Sunday for a while, so I'm excited. I'm literally gonna watch racing all day.
That's awesome.
It's a good day.
Hell yeah, bro! The best Canadian was born. Come on now.
The best Canadian.
Now that would be Wayne Gretzky.
No.
So back on to IndyCar. Another thing that I was shocked is Awards having the I don't know what the technical term was but the combustion that happened in his intake to take his power from his car and get past with 3 laps to go.
That sucked.
You know, I think he could have held Ericsson off. I think it would have been entertaining to try to watch. But I think once Ericsson got around with him, I think we saw that Ericsson was the stronger car.
Yeah.
But that's got to be heartbreaking that he didn't even have a chance to defend.
Yeah, I really like Pato. He grew up not far from me. He's from, I don't know if there's any connection, but there's a lot of San Antonio going on with the IndyCar McLaren team. Pato Award kind of grew up around San Antonio. Went to high school, I believe, in San Antonio I think it was TMI, which is a military institute. I think I'm gonna check my facts on that, everybody. But he grew up right outside of San Antonio, and then Mission Tortilla is a Texas company that their headquarters is also in San Antonio, Texas. But yeah, I was a little heartbroken to see Pato lose the win. I think he's a really talented driver. I would like to see him in Formula One. I think he does. I know he got a test last year, but I would really like to see him in Formula One. I think Checo's kind of paving the way for him.
Yeah, that was kind of my vote too. I always liked him. I can't believe you say San Antonio and not San Antone.
San Antone, everything
Oh, no.
that I
Come
got
on now.
is just what I got on. Tell you what.
Tell you what, I just told you.
Speaking of tell you what, how about them stock cars there in old Las Vegas?
I tell you what, Hendrick be building some cars.
Man,
You know, they just happen to have a bow tie on the front of them, so that's kind of nice.
Just made me throw up.
Freaking yeah, brother. I hope you threw up. Good. Let's keep it that way, because guess who's
Norman's
on top?
Norman's not a happy camper after the NASCAR race. Dave's
Am
probably
I?
not a happy camper after the
Yes,
NASCAR race.
baby.
no, I'm not.
Logano whole right side of his car is gone by the end of it. He
Hey, you
found
know
a
what?
wall,
I'll
but
take
then he found
Blaney
a
doing
corner.
bad. I'll take Blaney doing bad. I'll take
Yeah.
it. I don't mind it. If I get to top 3 Hendrick, I don't mind it.
Swerve. Yeah, that was a good one. Dude, Byron, I mean, kind of made it boring, did he not?
Man, he looked unreal the entire weekend. And I was like, when I saw him out front, I was like, he's gone. He's got it. In the bag. Good night. Like, have a good one.
I
How
mean,
about my
what-
boy Bubba Wallace, though? Fourth place? That's pretty crazy.
Dude, I felt so bad for Truex. I know you stay out because of tires at the end, right? But
Yeah.
I've been there in NASCAR races on iRacing. It is the worst feeling of crap. I'm getting past. Crap, I can't even hold it down. I'm gonna run somebody over. I didn't run that guy over. They're still all passing me. It's worst feeling ever. But you got to do it. You know, you got to roll the dice.
I
He
thought
wasn't
he
gonna get
lasts longer than he was going to. I did
Yeah,
not
fuck
expect
you.
him to be side by side going into 3.
Oh, man, making me nervous. He could have rolled up like everybody. But he's good. He's a good racer. I mean, you can trust him to keep the car under control. But yeah, Byron. I don't think there was a caution, was there, between the first stage and the second stage? I think they ran straight through. No caution.
they?
I think so. Don't hold me to that, but
I'm
I don't think
unclear.
I don't think there was a caution between the first and second.
I buzzed through it a little bit.
Well, I guess there's only two. The stages in between the stages.
I'm gonna be honest, I actually missed the majority of that race. I was just like, I had it on, but I was doing stuff. But
It was kind of
It was,
easy to do when you look up. 24 still okay. 24's leading.
yeah, it was. A lot of people said it was a very boring race. I don't know. I actually didn't like I looked up and glazed up, but I didn't like look hard enough to be like following a couple laps and being like, hey, this is actually boring. Like, you know what I mean? It looked pretty like action filled. I don't know if it was though.
Yeah.
After watching Formula One and IndyCar, it was boring.
Yeah. Right.
Like I'm snapped back to reality. Oh, there goes gravity. You know what I'm saying? Like
Easy.
I'm-
pay for that if you see anymore.
Mom spaghetti. Anyways.
Yeah. But no, like it reminded me why this time of year I'm traditionally not a NASCAR fan, because turning that on after watching everything else was like, because I record them, I don't try to cram it all down at once. But like NASCAR is my evening, like what I call dad TV. Sit down with a beer with your, tube socks on and watch
New
your favorite
Balance.
program. Yeah.
Kick the New Balances off.
Well, that one put me to sleep, straight up.
The grill master.
Yeah. Kick the New Balances off.
Oh,
New
God.
Balances off. But the khakis.
Take the carabiner off of the jean shorts.
Just hang
Take the
'em
blue
up.
cap off. Oh man, killing me.
Weird.
Probably a Lowe's hat or something too.
Nah, I wasn't into it.
Lowe's hat.
A Lowe's hat?
No, he's got like a Fred Meyer hat or something.
I was gonna say in Oklahoma it'd be a local co-op hat.
Yeah.
That's funny.
Oh. Hey man, up here
Down
we got
here, it's
Walmart.
a
That's about it.
It's a
There you go.
sweat stained camo hat.
That would be
It's-
Wally World.
Yeah. Wham alert. So I gotta say, the sponsorships on all the F1 cars, they're usually gotta look them up, or it's some cutting edge. Red Bull running around with their side pods. They got Walmart on there.
Yeah.
I
Right
was
on.
Like, what?
Do they actually?
Yes.
I
It's
didn't
on
even
the top.
notice.
It's on the top of their side, like right at the front. The little sponsor that they put right at the front of the side pod.
Walmart.
They
Good
wanted to
stuff.
show you where you could buy the Red Bull from. They're like, yeah, go here.
Go to Walmart.com. They deliver.
We were talking about F1 sponsorships before you guys showed up. Norman and I were. And I don't know if you guys knew, and this is take it or leave it, but Did you know McLaren is 56% owned by the nation of Bahrain?
Huh?
McLaren,
Really?
yeah, the entire company McLaren sold shares this last year, and 56.4% ownership of all of McLaren Group is owned by the Bahraini International Royal Fund or whatever it's called.
And
So
they
it's like-
still suck
Yeah, true that, right? Come on.
in Bahrain.
In
56%.
You know, they were embarrassed as hell. They were like, should have bought Aston Martin.
Yeah. Oh man.
Yeah. There's Formula One, it goes deep. I mean,
We've got to do a special at some point.
we
on
have
that.
to.
I mean, dude.
The sponsors on the they're not sketchy, but the sponsors on the McLaren, they like I think they should stop putting more.
Dude, there's so many. Like,
getting
if I had
out
to
of
put
hand,
that
dude.
many on a car, because I do paint, fry racing, but if I had to fit that, I'd be like, dude, let's just make it's going to be a white car, and I'm just going to put all the different colors on the different, sponsors, and that's
And they
your
have
color.
they have the new Google panel. Did you see that? That like they can change the sponsor on the car.
No,
It's like an
I-
LCD panel. It weighs like, I don't know what they said, like 53 grams or something. It's like really light.
what?
But look it up. It's like, but the way where they put it is right on top of the side pod, kind of right next to the halo front right and front left driver peripheral vision. And it's black outline with white text. And when it changes, it flashes. And dude, if I were Lando Norris or Oscar
seen that.
Piastri, I would be losing my mind, dude, because it's right below the mirror. It's like where your peripheral vision looks for, movement, and then you shift your eyes to look at your mirror. And where they put it is just in the worst place. It's right in your peripheral vision, and it changes from like the Chrome logo to like hashtag Chrome. But when it does that, it like flashes white first. And
You spent the R&D on what?
yeah, right. No, but you
we
should.
got this cool screen though.
It like the first time I saw it, that's the first thing that popped into my head was like, man, if I was driving that car, that would freak me out.
I don't even like it when somebody comes in the room while I'm racing,
Yeah.
and here they are, got screen flashing and crap.
It's the F1 equivalent of your kid turning on the overhead light in the back seat while you're driving. I can't see.
Turn it off.
I can't see anything.
Yeah. Wow.
Anyway,
that's
it blew my
nuts,
mind.
Yeah.
Yeah, it was like way too much.
What I searched for, if anybody wants to search it, is McLaren LED sponsor, and it popped up. It actually says Android 5G or whatever. and
Oh, they
hashtag
change
Android.
it. It's so they can run dynamic sponsorship.
What?
But
Who's gonna see that?
Yeah, it's a
Right?
weird placement. It's a
No one's
weird
gonna see
placement.
it.
It's off to like right and left of the driver. Right.
It
and
must be
left,
for like qualifying and like maybe when they're doing like the pit stops, because you know how they do like that zoomed in of like the drivers in the cockpit and stuff. No, I'm not saying that that's a good use of it, but I'm just saying that might be what it's for.
Just doesn't seem like the placement's all that good for something like that. You think they would have that down the side pod or something?
yeah. Well, but then
or
if they
not
got
at
hit,
all.
they couldn't afford to replace it.
Yeah, we put it there. What do you think? Well, it's gonna be right in the front of the driver. Let's move it. We're out of money.
We might see
Look-
this tech go further because I don't know if you've seen the new BMW that has the dynamic paint on it. Have you seen that? It was like it's been on all
heard
like
about it.
the futuristic car shows where basically you push a button and you can change color of the car, put stripes on it or whatever. And it's like a magnetized dust that does it. It looks like this little LCD screen, which I'm not an electrician or electrical engineer, listeners. So if that's how an LCD screen works, cool. But there's something going on there, and I think we may see dynamic sponsorship find its place in Formula One, and this might be the evil first sign of that.
Well, I always
Could you
wondered it
imagine?
when you race like 24-hour races, and they can do the numbers, just where you're like either how many seconds you're in the pits, or there's that little number plate, and it tells like where you're at in class or where you're at overall, standings. It
Mhm.
always kind of wondered like who's going to be the one to put, like a lit up Cadillac sign in that same kind of
Third
light
place brought
color.
to you by Target.
Yeah, I mean, I always wondered about those cars, but those guys, they care about sponsorship, but they don't as much as like F1 or NASCAR, I guess. In my mind, they don't. The GT series is more about the racing, it seems like to me.
Could you imagine that BMW? Like, imagine you just like scraped something and boom, car's written off.
You're gonna need about 18 LCD panels, sir.
Yeah.
That's gonna be like $8,000.
Could you
Can you
imagine? Could you imagine NASCARs be painted in that paint and the freaking schemes change throughout the race?
Oh,
The
no, that
future
messed
is
me
on
up.
us. It's coming.
So Joey Logano runs every single one of his schemes that he runs in a year in one race.
It's coming.
It would literally just be flashing.
Imagine Kyle Busch. Like, everybody like sees Kyle Busch in the mirror and they get scared, so he just like changes to like Blaney's car and just passes the guy cleanly.
A lot of the sponsorships you see in the Formula One broadcast are like a augmented reality overlay, like on the track.
Oh yeah. Well, they have that, and they did that. Of course, in football, we've seen it. Where they do the first down line and all that. But like in hockey now, I don't know if you've watched hockey lately, but the whole wall around the outside of the rink is all holographic.
The
Dude,
robot.
Yeah,
that
so
threw
hold
me
on.
off the
How does
first
that
game I
work?
watched.
Well, so when they get in the
don't
corner
know.
and start fighting after the puck, you'll see it kind of fade over their legs and stuff like that. It's not perfect, but yeah.
No, but I don't understand, how do they make that work without it being like some sort of green screen effect? Because you know what I noticed? If I changed the channel while watching the World Cup earlier, was it last year or this year? I think it was last year, right?
December.
Yeah. So it was last year. If I changed the channel to like the US and on like a US channel, I swear the sponsors were different.
They are. Yeah.
Yeah,
But
well,
how
it's
do
the
they
same
change
way.
it? I don't
It's the
understand.
same way like augmented reality works on your phone. It
Well,
maps
so-
a 3D environment, and the camera doesn't move. Like that camera's in one static position, so you can get distance measurements with LiDAR or however they do it. I'm just a humble podcaster and propane guy, but
Podcaster Utopia and
yeah, I do. I do a lot of stuff, but I'm not an
sounds like
expert on
NASCAR
this.
guy. Thanks,
And-
Utopia.
And so no, they map the 3D environment, and you can create a mapped space in a software, and then map graphics over that look proper. And then you can rotate the camera around, and it doesn't matter because it's mapped to the space, not the camera.
That's crazy. I'm out here trying to figure out how zeros and ones turned into all this. Like, bro, what? That's crazy.
I don't really know either. And then
I still
might-
don't even know how zeros and ones work in here. We are 3D scanning the world. Okay.
Yeah, get ready, boys. It's coming.
Soon flight sim's going to be accurate. Oh my gosh.
It already is.
A 3D. Yeah, but like it's just like a flat thing of Google Maps though. Imagine like a 3D image. Like you could literally
They do go in and like they
I want to go see my
scan
mom
like the big cities and stuff.
in her
No, but, like,
house.
imagine like I just modeled Norman's house in Flight Sim, and then I just take like an Airbus 808 and fly it into the man's house because I just don't like him. like imagine. That's probably not even a plane. I thought it was. It sounded cool.
Sounded cool when it said it. Sounded cool when it said it.
I thought I heard it one time in Mayday, but that's about all I can
I'm gonna
remember.
get in a King Air. I'm gonna fly it to Norman's house. I'm gonna go in his house, and I'm gonna eat all of his peanut butter and jelly. Because that's realism, baby.
No, I'm
I
still
do
a
have some
skater.
Uncrustables in the freezer, so you're
Oh my man. Oh, I do not
What a
grow out of
man.
Uncrustables. that is the snack.
I'm gonna go on his
it.
DoorDash and order
Tell
food
me
to my
they're
house.
grape. Tell me they're grape.
they're great.
Order me some gator.
Hey,
Uh,
you're just
no, if
jealous
you-
you don't
if-
get gator up there in those frozen.
If you've
Yeah,
never
you know what we get up
taken-
here? Penguin.
if you've never eaten frozen white bread and preservatives with peanut butter, oh my lord, you're not living.
Are you the strawberry or the grape jelly guy?
Grape. Get that strawberry mess out of here, bro. Grape jelly all the way.
This is the most random podcast. Like we
Yeah,
started
I
off
know, we went
great
off
for the
the
first hour,
rails.
and then like here we are, like 20 minutes
It's
later.
important. It's important. This will enhance your life in every way, no matter what. This will make the race better. I ate a frozen grape Uncrustable during the Indy Car race. I love that race. I mean, I think we're drawing. They're
You
big.
know, you can let them
connections, but
thaw, and they taste better.
No, I want it. I want that bread to be really.
You want that crunch?
I want it. I want that crunch, my man. And I want that bread to be kind of
All right,
grainy.
since we're going off the rails anyways, peanut butter, the crunchy or the regular,
Oh, crunchy.
Crunchy.
That's proof that God exists and that He loves us very much.
Crunchy peanut butter.
Crunchy
Yeah,
peanut.
and creamy peanut butter people freak me out.
They just a little off, aren't they?
Yeah,
Wow.
Antonio,
How about like
I bet-
Nutella?
Yeah. Oh, I mean, that's a different category. How can you
Never
not?
had it a day in my life.
Norman just eats his cheese whiz
That's
on
what's
like
wrong
the
with this
whitest
guy.
bread you can find.
Now, if y'all really want to be grossed out, from
I do.
Alabama, we eat banana sandwiches with mayonnaise on them.
Oh,
What?
Yeah, so does Dale Jr. I heard that one and I was like, what?
Yeah.
What?
No.
You take your peanut
First of
butter
all-
on one piece of bread, your mayonnaise on the other piece of bread. You cut your bananas
What's
up,
going on right now?
and that's what you eat.
No, that's what you eat.
No, don't diss it till you try it.
Okay, all right,
I'm dissing it. I don't care. That sounds horrible.
that's tough.
maybe it's the Canadian in me. I don't know what the hell kind of creation that is.
That's Alabama.
It's Alabama, baby.
I want to know who made that. That was like, it'd make this sandwich better. Mayonnaise.
Mayonnaise.
I have no
Probably
earthly idea
mayonnaise
how
in
they
there.
came up with it, but I'm glad they did.
It definitely wasn't an accident. Like the first potato chip was an accident. The first chocolate chip cookie, that was an accident. But mayonnaise and banana sandwich, that was no accident.
Wait, if they were making a chocolate chip cookie, how do you just accidentally make a chocolate chip
They
cookie?
were trying to make
what
like
else were you making?
They were trying to make a cake or some sort of and they put too much butter in it and it went flat.
How do you first off, this is probably not the podcast. Second off, how do you know that?
So you'll learn this about me slowly that I'm full of
Useless
these
knowledge.
random facts.
me too.
Yes, sir.
Me
It was on the History Channel because
I
I
have a bit
watched
of a
that
photographic-
episode.
I have a photographic memory to a degree, but it only remembers the dumb, irrelevant stuff that no one else cares about.
He was out there. He was out there watching how it's made on
Dude,
TV.
this is my favorite show.
I got a photographic memory, but also have ADHD. So,
It's tough. And let me tell you,
There's so much shit in there. I don't know what the hell I'm looking
There's
at.
a
after
lot
just
that.
going
weird
on in
stuff.
here.
I have to sift through it every night. It's
Oh,
not a good.
man.
there is a
I'll get
lot going on in here. But when you talk about banana and mayonnaise sandwiches, it goes straight to chocolate chip cookies. Let me tell you.
I know a lot
Thank me later.
about a little and a little about a lot. No, I know a lot about. I messed that all up.
He can't even remember the whole fucking thing.
Nice.
Give it another try. Let's go.
You can do it, buddy.
All right, take 4, action.
I know a lot. So I know.
I think this episode just should be called Banter.
Yeah. What it
No, it's
turned
fun.
into.
I mean, we're excited. It's the first week of racing,
we
and
talked about this.
Well, if we want to get back into the discussion, I can bring up that, and I think everyone's going to agree that Mercedes looks like they're awful again this year.
Oh, I was going to tell y'all. So Toto Wolff admitted that the car's wrong. That the no sci-fi that they've come up with is the wrong direction. They think
Dang
that they
it.
can have some podiums this year, but that wins are going to come few and far between, and that most of the Aston Martin car is Mercedes, like underneath. And so they think they may lean towards their car more, is what it said.
the no side pod was a mistake.
Okay, wait, can we jump back into that for a minute? Because I have to bash Mercedes for a second. I actually don't mind Mercedes. I know everybody's going to be like, oh, you hated him because I was, rooting for Max in 2021. And then he pulled off a miracle because the FIA gifted him something. But you know what? He still deserved it. Anyways, moving on.
No,
I don't care. Moving on. I don't, Mercedes gets a lot of hate for being crybabies, mostly Lewis. And I'm not trying to diss Lewis in this sake because he didn't actually do anything in this sake. But you know what, man? After the race, there's this post. And I did fact check it because I wanted to be sure that I'm not pulling this out of like a wrong source. It was a good source. I can't remember who posted it now, but they were posting all the negativity that George Russell said about the car. And then what Mercedes said about the car, like Toto Wolff. And they're talking about, how they're out of contention. It's been one race. And
Yeah.
even if you are, like, that sounds so bad to all your sponsors. Like, yeah, we suck. We're out of contention. We missed the mark. Our car's garbage. Like, yeah, that looks amazing coming from one of the friggin' biggest car brands in the world. And now you're looking like got all these sponsors you're backing in. Yeah, no, we've just accepted defeat. We're not gonna try because we suck. Like, what? That was so dumb. I was
Yeah, I
like,
agree.
how are you guys like who lets your PR like get like this? Like, you're making it look so bad. Anyways, let's rant over. I don't care about it, but I just was like, really, man? Like, even Ferrari sucks and we don't do that. We just pretend that we don't notice the problems. Like, come on.
You just turn the radio up.
Yeah.
Does
It is-
Ferrari have reliability issues this year?
Well, I mean, that was what I was going to say. It's so
Their car was
easy.
falling apart in qualifying.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Well, like
literally.
when Leclerc pulled over, like it's almost like when you see one pull over, you go, but it's not like, they just went a top podium guy is now out of the race. It's like, there's Ferrari again.
Mamma mia.
You're
You're like, oh man, and you're like, it's Leclerc again. Oh my god.
I tell you what I did say. And the bad thing is, Ferrari's been around a lot longer than Leclerc, but I was like, man, I'm starting to feel sorry for that guy. That's what I told my wife. We're sitting there watching the race, and I was like, I'm starting to feel sorry for him.
No luck. Honestly, the guy's mental state must be so bad right now because can you imagine coming off like the 2 worst possible years you could have? And then you're like, all right, yeah, new year, new me, great season. And then boom, blows up the first race. And you're just sitting there like, man, like you must just be right back into that state of like, wow, is it going to be another one of these years? Like, I know what that's like from like real life experience where you have a bad year and then you go in to the next year and you're like, no, this year's going to be great. And then you get like 2 bad ones in a row and you're just like, wow, this isn't going to change, is it? And I'm just like, man, that must suck. Like, I feel so bad for the guy. But he's got nowhere to go. What's he going to do? Leave? Where's he going to go?
Yeah.
On Antonio's point, I actually have a story on that side. We built our car. We had blown it up in Road Atlanta from kicking water pump belts. And so we rebuilt the engine, got everything ready weeks ahead of time, put all this work into testing and everything, showed up at freaking the next race at Barber and spun a bearing 3 laps into practice.
Dang it.
That's
And
rough.
we did a whole motor swap that night, made gridding the next day to find out the block that we put in the car had a 9-inch crack across the back of it. Built an engine that
Perfect.
night in the parking lot. It's like nothing can go our way. Like we're meant
when
to
you just
just fail.
Yeah, that's when you just start loading everything up.
I just start laughing.
Where's the closest bar?
We actually used block seal, put it in the motor, let it sit overnight, and raced all day Sunday and only lost 1.5 gallons of water. So block seal does work. If you want to sponsor me, block seal, yes, please give me a call.
Better yet, give me some Flex Seal. Even better, dude. Like, come on. Hold on, can we talk about Flex Seal for a second? I know this is totally off the
Absolutely.
rails, but
We can.
why did this company, man, they make Flex Seal. Then you know who they make be the face of their brand? Some guy with a lisp. You're like, yeah, man, come buy some Flex Seal. I'm just like, bro, come on now. Y'all doing them dirty. Like, come on now.
So funny, dude.
Like, come on now. Anyways. Sorry, that shit made me laugh.
That's a lot of damage.
We're going to cut the bottom out of this boat.
The latest when they flood a whole house and it's supposed to keep it up, like, okay, now.
We're going to flood a whole house.
Yeah.
Yeah, 72 rolls later. You have a Flex house.
Who was it in, Xfinity? There was a Flex Seal car and they actually used Flex Seal as their Bondo tape.
Well, heck
my
yeah. I
God,
mean, you
I've
almost
never
have
seen
to,
that.
don't you?
That's epic.
So I watched that Flex Seal commercial and I lost a pipe under my house to a freeze, but it had cracked like 2-inch crack long ways. And I was like, all right, let me just try some of this Flex Seal stuff. I felt so stupid. And I went and bought a huge roll. It's expensive. It's very expensive. So I bought a roll of it and I went home and wrapped that pipe and I let it sit. I turned that water on and that blew right off, dude.
Like 2 seconds.
It did nothing, dude. It was not like the commercial. It did not fix my pipe at all, bro.
Hey, real quick, back to racing. Did anyone catch the first MX5 race this weekend?
No.
No, but I bet it was great.
It was. So with 2 laps to go, the 2 leaders exchanged the lead 4 times.
Whoa.
And they pass each other twice coming out of the final turn to the start finish line. So the guy who got passed in the final turn won the race.
Dang.
That is good racing.
Yeah, I tell y'all need to go. They on YouTube, they're recorded. I would, every now and then click on some of those races. They're fun to watch.
Well, it's back to that spec racing that we were kind of talking about last episode,
Yeah.
It makes for some good racing.
We need good racing. I hope Formula One's not just a Red Bull fest.
Dude,
Like,
I'm sorry.
It is.
If Alonso will do what he did last Sunday, just a few times during the race I'm sorry, he schooled Hamilton.
He did.
And it was good.
He did.
He still got it.
Bro.
I was the one that's been saying, Alonso needs to get out of here and let somebody else come in. I don't know, dude. He still got it.
I got one more topic on that while we're here, actually. I would love to see Verstappen run away for 4 more years and catch up to Hamilton. Because you know what? This is not a diss on Hamilton at all. He's a great driver. But you know what? So is everyone else in the grid. Like, everyone there deserves to be there. They're all amazing. You give any one of them the car, and they will win you a championship. Like, for the most part. I mean, there's a couple guys that probably can't live up to it, and there's a couple guys that are brand new. I'm not saying they can go and win right away, but, like, let's be honest. Like, most of those guys there are, like, they're literally the top 20 drivers pretty much in the world. Like, if you give any one of those guys a car, they will win. Let's be honest.
I totally agree, especially the Mercedes that won so many this last time. I mean, they showed it, right? Russell couldn't do anything in the Williams. He gets in it one time, and if they wouldn't have had a debacle of a pit stop, he would have won that race over Hamilton.
Bottas.
Yeah, Bottas is a perfect example to actually talk about it too. But, like, let's be honest though, like, there's differences between drivers. Don't get me wrong. I'm not saying if you put every single guy in the same car that they're all going to be identical. Like, they're not. Like, we've seen it with, as Norman just said, with Bottas and Hamilton. We see it with Perez and Verstappen. But at the same time, we also know that the car swings to one driver. Like, let's be honest. It swings one way.
Oh, yeah.
Because of that Parc Fermé stuff and whatever other rules they have. But, like, if you gave each driver the ideal car that they wanted, I'd be genuinely curious who comes out on top. Now, experience matters. Again, Lewis, phenomenal. He's got probably, besides Alonso, probably the most experience there. And I'm just, you know what I mean? Like, I feel like the guys like Schumacher and Hamilton have had so much domination that it almost, like, separates them so much from the other drivers. Yet, like, you saw it, you see it, like, Alonso could take it to Hamilton still. Verstappen could take it to Alonso. Verstappen could take it to Hamilton. Hamilton could take it. Like, you know what I mean? It's like anybody could take it to anybody, I feel like, for the most part. Definitely at least 10 of those guys could be a world champion. 100%.
Yep.
Agreed. I've always said that, especially, like I said, in the Mercedes that they had before. Hamilton, like you said, good driver, not taking anything away from him. Multi-championships. I mean, he did them. He won them. It's just, it doesn't have to be him. A lot of it is the car.
I just wish that there was more. I don't know. Maybe it's just me. I know everybody loves the development. I just wish there was a little bit more standardization. Like, we have such big gaps between the teams. It's brutal. Like, the top to the bottom team it's just dumb. Like,
just 37 seconds should not be the interval from the leader to the rest of the pack.
Oh yeah, and I've always said that too. Like, I'm not saying that because Verstappen's winning. Like, we said it when Lewis was winning.
Mm-hmm.
We said it when, well, I think everybody said it when what's his name, Vettel went on his domination spree too. Like, like they were killing the field, man. Like, killing them. But anyways, that's just the way sports swing. I mean, you can't limit it too much, but it would be cool to see some stuff get standardized a little bit and bring maybe like the playing field a little bit closer. Because you know what, like I think one of the big things that F1's got issues with is there's such a big financial difference between the two teams. Like, you know what I mean? I feel like if you bring it back and standardize it a little bit more, it's almost better for everyone. Like, yeah, you lose a little bit of that R&D, but you get 10 teams that like can be competitive. And they still have their differences based off of like the financial stuff, but it won't be as substantial.
I don't think
And I don't know.
it'll work because there's too much money in the big teams that aren't going to allow it to change.
Oh no, I totally understand that. I'm not saying it's feasible because let's be honest, but they won't let it happen. We already see the top teams like Ferrari, Mercedes, and Red Bull. They don't want new teams. We saw that Andretti got shamed for, well, not shamed, but you know what I mean. They don't want to let him in, and I don't blame him. I get it, but
it's the same reason we'll never see promotion or relegation in the U.S. soccer leagues because the owners aren't gonna say, "Yeah, I could see my team going down and playing the smaller leagues and losing money." No, I'm in the top league and I'm locked in. I don't care if I lose every year.
Antonio, can you help me with this? So, how does the charter system work in NASCAR?
So I'll be honest, I don't understand it fully.
But that's fine. Like full disclosure, we're not experts on this, but like just for discussions purposes, because I'm taking this somewhere. Do you know how that works?
I'm pretty sure basically they buy their charter. Like every team has their charter, and that's just kind of like it's like almost like buying your place, I guess.
Yeah. Do they pay per year?
I don't think so. I'm pretty sure I think it's a one-time thing. I think so. Let me look it up.
Yeah.
While you're talking, I'll look it up.
While you look that up, because I'm interested to know. I'm looking at the entry fees for Formula One. So in Formula One, you have to pay an entry fee per year. And what that entry fee is, it's a base fee of $617,687. That's American dollars.
It's a weird number.
And then you get $6,174 added on to that entry fee for every championship point you score. If you win the Constructors' Championship, your dollar amount per point goes up to $7,411 from $6,174. So what that means is that Red Bull paid an entry fee of $6,242,636. Second place team Ferrari paid $4,038,083. So there is a pretty big difference between first and second place. If you go down to Williams, who only scored just a couple of points, their entry fee for the 2023 season was $667,079, which I would say overall is not a lot of money. I mean, that doesn't include the development of the car. But if we're talking about like who can come to the table and play, that's not a lot of money. And so I still think, like you said, the big teams won't let some people do it. It interests me to know if this system was like a bid system a little bit. Like, because I think that's kind of how the charter system works, is like, you know, whoever has the most cash in their hand when the bell rings gets the spot, if there is a spot. Not sure about that. But to see that a team like Haas or even Aston Martin paid less than $1 million to be in the 2023 Formula One season. I mean, those Miata races you're talking about, Norman, I'm pretty sure the entry fee is like for the season, like about $100,000 if you take everything into account. So it's kind of baffling to me. I mean, Red Bull paid $6.25 million. That's quite a bit of money. But weren't they saying they wanted Andretti to pay $600 million to get a spot in Formula One? They said 60, but now they're adding a zero to that. So it makes me wonder if we did have some sort of bid system, would a guy like Andretti be willing to pay? I don't know. McLaren paid $1.5 million, and then they sucked this year. So as a team like that, can you tank like an NFL team to get a better or a cheaper entry fee the next year? Is that a strategy? This is all kind of new to me, but anyway, these numbers are a lot lower than I thought they would be.
Well, and then on that same note, I didn't know this till this year that the F1 driver have to pay an entry fee every year corresponding with their final standings of the year before.
Really?
Yeah, so Max Verstappen paid 1.2, no, a little over $1 million
Wow.
for his entry fee because he was a winner. Charles Leclerc 697 and some change.
It's for the license, actually. Yeah.
Yeah, Sergio Perez 690,000 and some change. George Russell 623, Carlos Sainz 559.
Wow.
Lewis Hamilton 545. So from first to sixth is like half the money.
And old Nico Hulkenberg had to pay $11,000.
Yeah.
That's awesome.
Yep.
So you're telling me that I've come to this conclusion. Haas did what they did in the race because they showed they can qualify good, but they don't want points because they downsized their pit box, and now they're downsizing their entry fee too to save money.
I can believe that. For the first time as a Formula One fan, I can believe that. Watching NBA teams and NFL teams tank and on the media say like, oh, well, it's just bad management, or like, oh, it's bad team dynamics. Like, no, it's not. Like, you're trying to get a better draft pick. We all know it. And so I've never heard anyone talk about this as a reason behind Formula One teams doing what they do, but it's got to be a reason. I mean, the difference between Red Bull and Williams was almost $6 million.
And the amount of
money, man.
money we're talking about, what is this going to? What does Formula One need with this kind of money?
I mean, it's the FIA. It looks like from 2023, the FIA netted $27 million from F1 entry fees, according to motorsport.com.
And they're not the only ones that pay them. F1's not the only ones that pay the FIA.
The
either.
tracks pay them. That's what's
Yeah.
crazy.
Dude, they're making hand over fist. Somebody needs to go in there and say, what are you doing?
I think the FIA and FIFA are both two corrupt organizations.
Yep. That doesn't take much digging to find out.
So did the charters for NASCAR, what's the difference between that and like what we just talked about with
Let's
F1?
find out.
I've got it now. Yeah, I was gonna say. So basically, the charter is kind of basically what I said. So there's 36 charter teams. It's not like a predetermined number. It just coincidentally back in 2016 they happen to have 36 things like 36 charters like interested. So anyways, the charter guarantees entry and therefore I guess a portion of the purse into the field of every NASCAR series points race. Teams may sell their charters on the open market. Charter owners may transfer their charter to another team for one full season once over the first 5 years of the agreement. Charter teams are held to a minimum performance standard. So if a charter team finishes in the bottom three of the owner standings among all 36 charter teams for three consecutive years, NASCAR has the right to remove the charter. Organizations now have a hard cap of 4 cars, so you can't run a 5th car as a rookie. That used to be a thing. This was, by the way, this isn't new. This is probably like posted in 2016. And then yeah, there's the field cap is 40 cars. So basically, from what it sounds like, there's 36. It says charter teams. I don't know why I keep saying that. I feel like it's charter cars. I don't know why it's worded like that.
I think they're just talking about like Team 22 is how they're referring to it.
Oh, okay, yes, you're
Like every
right. That
car
makes
is
more.
a team.
Yes.
Yeah, you're right. That makes more sense. So there's 36 charter teams, and basically, there's like with that being said, anyone else can show up who has a NASCAR, like a Gen 7 NASCAR, can show up and like qualify as an open team to any event if they wanted to, as long as there's 40. There's not 40 charter teams. They can show up. So that's why Daytona we see, 5-6 cars show up, which I think this was probably one of the most. I don't think I've ever seen more than 6 teams show up. So yeah. Anyways, oh no, wait, we had 38 cars, didn't we? And then no, there were 6. Sorry.
So
I guess if
question.
Got to carry the one.
Yeah.
So if I'm an open team and I show up to every race and my driver wins a race, are they eligible for the championship?
I don't know. Let's look it up.
You planning something out here, Norman?
No, I was just curious. Like,
Gaming.
can only charter teams compete for championships, or can open team? I don't see an open team ever doing it because they don't. But say I show up to the Daytona 500 and I win, And Wally World's like, hell yeah, let's put our name all over that car and let them go racing all year. You know,
As far as I'm reading, all it says is the charter guarantees you a spot in like to contend. So I mean, I guess you probably could show up, but I think the idea behind it is like an open team's not going to show up to every race because they probably don't have that much money, and if they do, they should probably just buy a charter because it's probably cheaper. So
well, I knew back in the good old days, we won't go too far into that, that you would have teams show up to like Daytona and they would be able to run. They were planning on running like 5 races that season, and then they would have a really good 500 and make enough money from the purse and the 500 that they would end up running like 20 races instead. So it was just interesting.
So a quick question: the Project 91, what is it? Is it unchartered? Is it a non-chartered?
I would assume. So,
I would imagine they're chartered.
No, they're.
Oh wait, is that?
No, because they weren't at
Trackhouse.
Daytona, and all 36 charters are at Daytona.
Oh! I'm thinking of the
Project
wrong thing.
91 is the guest driver project for Trackhouse.
I was
so that's
thinking of
just
what Pastrana drove in. I'm sorry, I didn't realize that.
So that's just a one-off thing that NASCAR's letting go on, I guess, right?
Yeah, I mean, I think it makes NASCAR money.
Oh, that's fine. I was just curious. Sorry.
So to add to my Formula One thing, it looks like also when you're a new team, and I'm fine. This is from jalopnik.com. That apparently you have to pay a $200 million entry fee, and that's distributed across the other teams as kind of a compensation for there being a new team. So it is pretty hefty to get in, but the fact that like the headline I read before this was Red Bull pays a staggering $6.2 million to enter Formula One. Like if you look at some of the contracts of these drivers or professional athletes in general, like didn't Tom Brady just sign like a 10-year, like $100 million or $80 million contract with Fox Sports to be a broadcaster or something? I'm gonna confirm that number, but it is ridiculous.
It was ridiculous. Point
is that like there's a lot of money floating around out there for sports and especially for Formula One in general, and I just don't consider $6.2 million from Red Bull Formula One team a lot of money. I'm sorry, I just don't. I'm just a lowly middle class Texas boy, but that doesn't seem like a lot of money compared to some of the numbers that you get heard, for Lewis Hamilton contracts and such.
Like, yeah, I can tell you right now that the Red Wings, my boy Larkin at the Red Wings just signed his 8-year contract, 69.6. That's an average of 8.7 million per year.
Oh, see, that's a lot, dude. That's a lot. And that's a hockey player.
That's what I'm saying.
Tom Brady gets a monster 10-year, $375 million deal from Fox. $37.5 million a year. And you're telling me that some of these Formula One teams can't afford $6 million or whatever. Anyway, I'm done.
So I got one more thing on the charters. So yeah, you can show up to any race as like an open team if you wanted. Because I was thinking about last year. I was like, you know what? There's 36 teams. I can just go look at the results quickly and see if there's more than 36 cars at a race. It's a charter. So immediately I was going through, and then one thing popped into my mind. I saw Watkins Glen, and I was like, oh no. I was like, oh yeah, Kimi Räikkönen ran that. I was like, obviously that was an open team running. So I'm pretty sure like if you really wanted to and you had the funds to do it, you could join as an open team and join every single race. Now there might be limitations when it comes to the playoffs. I don't know how that works, but I will say you could probably show up, and I think you can contend for points. I don't know why you wouldn't. Like it's not like you're gonna win if you show up to 5 races. You know what I mean? Like as in like win the championship or something. So yeah, you have like guys like Raikkonen show up. Like if you go look at the plate tracks, there's almost always an extra car. Like here, let's go look at Talladega. Yep, there's 37. There was an extra car. Ty Gibbs was in there, and he didn't have, I think, a ride last year, right? Or am I wrong? I don't know. But if you look through, you can definitely see in some of the race results that there's extra cars. Like Daniel Kvyat ran the Indianapolis race last year.
What's the incentive for that though? Like if
to
Aston Martin's
going
to keep their injured driver owner's son in their car and not replace him, like why is NASCAR allowing like random, like, oh, Kimmy, come over and race? Is it just for viewers, Or is there like, do the teams have? Is there an implication for the teams? Is what I'm getting at.
I think it's for viewers because I know I tuned in just because I heard that Kimi Räikkönen and a bunch of road course guys were putting a car together.
Yeah, me too.
I don't think it matters too much. Like when you really think about it, if they're not affecting the race and causing issues, like I'm sure there's a criteria for it. Like they're not going to let freaking Norman King show up with his,
But I have a
4-year,
ZL1, dude.
14-year outdated NASCAR because he's a redneck, but he got it up to par. Like, you know what I mean? Anyways, that's probably a bad,
Hey,
bad
now,
example. But
I
was
would
bad.
win those races.
He had to win them.
Let's say
Especially
they
Vegas.
let's say they let Levi Opitz, the freaking Talladega Daytona specialist, show up with like his car. Like, you know what I mean? They're not like, it doesn't matter. Like, I mean, it matters. Like, there's a criteria, you know, but you can't just grab any Joe Schmo off the street and say, yeah, I want to buy a NASCAR and show up to your race. Like, you know, Kanye West probably can't do that.
iRacing don't even let me show up to do that, bro.
Yeah,
Just saying.
there you go.
Just saying.
And they're like, man,
But
you
yeah.
got 400 I rating? What the hell are you doing here?
Yeah, that's what everybody says. Like, who's this guy?
Like, damn, bro, there's a car. I didn't even know they had 41 cars. Well, how you number 41?
All right, boys. Well, I'm getting hangry, and I need to go cook some gator.
Ain't no joke.
Oh,
That's
he's
what
gonna
he
cook
does.
some gator,
He's ordering DoorDash. Come on now. You ain't
DoorDash and like Chick-fil-A or something.
or especially
Nah,
Our
it's
the,
a good episode,
Chick-fil-A's
man.
got the gator bites.
especially the banana and mayonnaise sandwich. Like,
Gator
Oh, man.
though. Those gator sandwiches are good from Chick-fil-A.
gross.
Except on Sundays.
Yeah, right.
They don't make none on Sunday.
Hear
I
me
don't
out.
You
know.
gotta go actually. You
They
gotta go
give
get
Gator a day to
yourself.
rest.
You gotta go get it yourself.
We need to open up a food truck that only sells chicken sandwiches. But you're only open on Sunday and you go park in the Chick-fil-A parking lot.
That's pretty. That's pretty brilliant. I'm not gonna lie. That would do really well here. I'm not gonna lie.
Anything else on the phone?